Welcome to the 42 Podcast, where a Christian and an atheist sit down to discuss the meanings of life, the universe, and everything else in between. Thank you for joining us. All right. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey.
Happy true official New Year.
You too.
Because this is the first full episode we're releasing into this new year and recording and all that fun stuff. Yeah. So how's life?
Good. Everybody's healthy.
Yeah?
Everybody's doing good. My husband's trying to put in a carpet by himself today, so that'll be interesting. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
He's a very brave person. He just does things. So
I remember doing stuff like that with my father when I was younger, and right at that age where he could recruit me to help. And I found out that floor nails, carpet nails, are incredibly sharp.
Oh, yeah.
And really hurt.
Aw.
So,
yeah.
Things you learn as a kid. All right, so, carpeting aside, today I thought we could really have some fun and talk about pop culture influences. And the things that kind of influenced us.
Yeah.
Which is the major question to start with. Lindsay, what kind of pop culture influence did you have growing up? Like as a little girl, that was your guilty pleasure watch movie or book or something you engaged with time after time after time?
When I was really little, it was Beauty and the Beast and Lady and the Tramp, stuff like that. I watched those over and over, and then whatever we watched as kids, we would play. So, and then as we got older, we played Mission Impossible, that first one with the floppy disk. We would run around the woods with floppy disks and stuff like that. We liked movies a lot when we were kids.
You're talking like the original Tom Cruise Mission
Yes,
Impossible,
the first
not
one. Not the show.
Well, no. There was a Mission Impossible before that, the show.
Yeah, not the show. The movie.
The Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a bunch of kids running around in the woods going bum, 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 bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum,
Yep.
bum.
Yep, and then we played Jurassic Park a lot too. But we were running away from
Jurassic Park.
velociraptors and stuff like that. Oh yeah, definitely.
That Jurassic Park was a favorite movie of mine as a kid, and I am so happy that they are making new movies, and they're good new movies that I can then watch with my kids. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, I've been enjoying the new movies with my kids, and even going back and then rewatching the old ones. Okay, so classic Disney though.
Yeah, classic Disney. All those.
And Secret Agent Lindsay.
Yes, Secret Agent Lindsay. Yes.
So the Let's Kill Hitler episode was really perfect for you.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, for me growing up, I didn't get introduced to Star Wars until, oh my goodness, it was like 95 or 96. My uncle, who was a big movie fan, he got into a motorcycle accident, broke his hip, got laid up for like 2 or 3 months and just watched movies and became a huge movie fan. He indirectly passed that love on to me through, again, 95, 96. I don't remember what it was. I still have it somewhere, but it was the Star Wars box set of VHS tapes. And, I mean, watching that as a 10, 11-year-old, however old I was at the time, it just lit up my brain with sci-fi awesome.
Yeah.
So, there was a love affair with that started. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, there are some fictional universes that are so good you just want to stay in. You just want more of the universe. And it hasn't been till really the last 5 or so years that I've discovered Star Wars books. And I love Star Wars books. I've read... I haven't... I mean, I'm not a connoisseur, like, don't quiz me or anything, but but I really just love the universe. I love how it's just nice escapist and fun and good adventure.
Have you read the Legend Star Wars books, or are you reading the new line of books that are coming out?
I have the old one. I have a bunch of old ones, and I'm not opposed to the new ones, really, but I like the older ones. I like the Thrawn trilogy. I really liked that.
Oh, that was an excellent trilogy.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
And I love Thrawn going back into Legends when they first introduced him. Heir to the Empire. Thrawn is amazing. Yeah. The whole Mandalorian thing that they had going right now, I'm a little bit mad with how they ended it. I like how they ended it, but I wanted a different ending.
Yeah.
That brought Thrawn back into the line.
Yes. Well, there's going to be a whole new spin now, so who knows? A whole new...
Well, and with him doing the Ahsoka series, I think that will finally give answers to what happened to Thrawn and Ezra.
Yeah.
Have you watched The Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
Okay. Yeah, when they brought Ahsoka in that middle episode and, she's having that fight and where's your boss? Where's Thrawn? I freaked out. In my prediction, I camped on it for the next 4 or 5 episodes of the end episode. It's going to be Ezra Bridger who shows up for Grogu. It has to be because they've said Thrawn. So now we have to give answers to where Thrawn is. And I predicted that Thrawn would be behind Gideon and Bridger would be the one to show up to take Grogu. That's how I wanted it to end.
Yeah.
I am happy with what they did. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. When that scene played out, I was giggling and laughing and crying.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh my gosh!
I wasn't going, who's that? I was like, no, yes, no, oh, yeah. It was all kinds of emotions all over the place, but it was well done.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with what they're doing with Star Wars right now.
Yeah. Again, the universe is so good. I just want to sit there.
So, I guess on that note, wanting to live in those realities that are portrayed, in 2019, this blew my mind. And I had an amazing young adult student who, at the time, worked for Disney. Mm-hmm. And she was talking with me and said, hey, you're coming to Disney on one of the soft opens for Batuu, for Galaxy's Edge. I've got some passes. I got 3 passes. I can get you and 2 other people in. So she was able to get me, my son, and my father in to Galaxy's Edge before it was fully open, and to do stuff. We rode the Millennium Falcon 2 times in a row.
Cool.
It wasn't waiting in line for like an hour. It was, we got off the ride. The longest part of getting back onto the ride was walking 5 minutes through the queue. Walking, not waiting in line. And she took a video of us walking through the section of Batuu that leads up to the Millennium Falcon. And I'm lost in the moment. I'm giggling, I'm laughing, I'm amazed by the immersion that is Batuu. Right there. I stood in front of the Falcon. I could, yeah.
You're not crying.
So I am not crying, but I definitely have goosebumps remembering that moment. And I'm in my home office, but at my office, I have a picture of her and I standing in front of the Falcon because that was just an amazing moment for me. Mm-hmm. That's surreal. And Caitlin, if you listen to this podcast again, year and a half later, thank you. Eternally, thank you. Well, and even Sterling, who helped set up the Let's Kill Hitler episode, he and I have geeked out on Star Wars because it's a big thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For a lot of us. For guys my age, guys and women my age. You can even see over my shoulder right there. The first thing I 3D printed when I got my 3D printer was the Han Solo blaster. And the fact that I made it and I'm holding it, But Star Wars is a big pop culture for me.
Yeah.
From engaging with it when I was a kid to the prequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy, it's something I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
I geeked out.
Yep.
What are some other things that you've enjoyed now as an adult in pop culture?
I started reading Harry Potter as an adult because I wasn't allowed to read it as a kid. So I read it as an adult. I devoured them. I loved them. And I watched the movies, and I thought the books were way better. But I just loved the books. I loved the books.
All right, Lindsay.
Go ahead.
What house are you?
I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Just leave me alone to
According to
study.
the internet, I'm Gryffindor.
That doesn't surprise me. Either that or a Hufflepuff.
Yes, I could also be a Hufflepuff, just happily bouncing around in life. Whee!
Yeah. But we play audiobooks. I have all of them on audiobook, and so I let the kids listen to that sometimes over the summer. They listen to several of them in a row, and they really like them. Particularly my son. He's really into them. So it's really cool.
All right, for like the 5 people out there, this may be a spoiler kind of discussion. If you haven't seen or read any of the movies, maybe go do that.
So yeah, stop now, go do that, then come back.
Yeah, there's got to be like 5 people who haven't engaged with it, so there you go. Fair warning. Anyway, what was your favorite book and why? And who's your favorite character?
I think, okay, so forgive me, but I like the one where Neville really has his transformation and sort of stops being a little nerd, a little doofus, and like becomes, just changes, and he leads that secret organization in Hogwarts. I don't know which book that is, but I really liked that one.
That's book 7, Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot.
I think book 7's called Deathly Hallows.
I liked that I liked all the other ones, but the other ones were sort of like setting. I guess I liked that one because the stakes were so high, and it was sort of different than the other ones, and the disruption was sort of like, no, you can't disrupt how all the other books have been. This is not right. But at the same time, that's kind of what I liked about it too, and just seeing a new dimension of all these characters and. Just seeing the culmination of where it's all been leading this whole time. And the Snape thing, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. I really liked that one. As sad as it is that it's over, I think that's the one like that I got all riled up in, you know.
Alan Rickman as Snape in the movies was perfect.
Perfect.
He really was. But, all right, so who's your favorite character then?
I like Hermione.
Hermione, well, yeah, that makes sense
Hermione.
for you.
I relate to her quite a bit. Did you know
for
that?
For me.
A little trivia?
Go ahead.
In the first one, they had to keep telling Emma Watson to stop saying everybody else's lines, because she knew her lines and everybody else's.
Yeah, she would be right in the background whispering the lines. Yeah, I did read about that. So, for me, it's Order of the Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Because, and this is why I love it, and this is why people are going to hate me for this statement, but Dolores Umbridge is one of the most amazing characters, and I love her in the Harry Potter books, because she is so bureaucratically evil that you just have to hate her.
Yes.
She is, and I can't remember who plays her, but she's perfect for it. And really, that moment with Umbridge in Order of the Phoenix, as all of it's coming together, I think that sets up the next 2 books perfectly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, that's one of my favorites. I hate reading it because I'm down with Umbridge, but I love Umbridge. I love what it does and where it sets the tone for the next 2.
It's funny, that book, I liked it because it was Harry Potter, but at the same time, I felt like it was disruptive of the way the other ones were, the normal. I just want them to go to school, do something scary and amazing, and then everything's kind of normal. The scary amazing is normal now, but leave them alone. Let them just, so.
You've got the first 3 books that are, the first one is small and it sets up what is an epic adventure tale. Okay, all right, that gets you in the door. You got the second one, Chamber of Secrets, that sets the stakes a little bit higher of, it's not only Harry who may die, it's Hermione, it's Ron, it's the professors,
Ginny, yeah.
it's Thank you, Ginny. It's a high stakes game. You've got the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban, that is now introducing that not all bad guys are truly bad guys. Snape.
Yep.
With that as an undertone, because you've got, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. Harry's godfather,
Sirius Black.
Sirius Black, who he's the bad guy through that whole thing, but no, actually he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
So each of those first 3 books sets these tones that come back in the next 4.
Brilliant.
And it's book 4 that's a transition, because it's the flip that switches. Flip that switches. The switch that flips. Wow. That's my dyslexia on full display there. But it's that switch that flips, because evil's kind of always there, lurking, but now it's present. It's there. And book 5, it's gone. Where's the evil? Where's Voldemort? No one knows. And the whole presence of book 5 is that he's not there, which is part of the reason I love it. Because that's the great deception.
It was good. It was very good.
Yeah, the Harry Potter series are amazing books, and about once a year. Go ahead.
Just another universe you just like, I want to go to Hogwarts, and nothing bad has to happen. Just let me go to Hogwarts and proceed with life there.
See, I want the adventure. We have not been to Harry Potter World at Universal yet. We want to go. We eventually will. But that would be another fun and amazing one to see. Yeah, so Harry Potter. Star Wars.
My daughter's named after Maggie Smith, by the way. She plays
oh, is she?
Professor
McGonagall. Yes.
McGonagall.
Minerva
Maggie Smith, yeah. Yep.
I should not speak. Yes. And she's also incredible.
Oh, yeah.
In Harry Potter and in other movies I've seen her in, where she shows up, I'm like, I'll behave.
Downton Abbey, she was ridiculous. She was amazing.
All right, so Harry Potter, you started getting into that as an adult because that was taboo for you as a kid. Yeah, that whole opposition to
magic, yeah.
Well, and Harry Potter, I didn't get it then. I still don't get it now, because there are elements in her writing that point to her connection and faith within the Anglican Church. And Lewis did the same thing.
Well, I think everybody just heard from somebody else.
Tolkien did the same thing.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody just got scared and were like, okay, well, we're not going to let our kids read that. And they didn't even give it a shot. They didn't even read it themselves. So, but I think that's just what people did back then. But yeah, I was allowed to read Tolkien and the C.S. Lewis's
the worlds
series.
of Tolkien.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rich.
I did struggle as a teenager. I tried to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I could never read fantasy as a teen. The Hobbit I went through perfectly fine. I love The Hobbit. That's my favorite. The Lord of the Rings trilogy I struggled with.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty dense in parts. It's pretty sloggy at parts, and especially the first book.
I did finally read through all of them. I read through the Silmarillion, which I feel like I really needed Cliff Notes to keep track of where and when we were in the Silmarillion. I need to reread that, but they're worth the reads.
Yeah.
They really are.
I kind of read that one out of loyalty, I think. Like, I need to say I've read it because I'm a Tolkien fan, but I liked certain things about it, but it was a lot to get through just to get to the parts you actually liked. The stories that were actually good. But I have The Children of Huron, and I haven't read that yet either.
I haven't read The Children of Huron, but it's worth it just for everything he was thinking, building, and creating as just the foundations. So, what was... Oh, I had a comment I was going to say. Oh, Treebeard.
Yes.
Do you know the origin of Treebeard?
No.
As I've been told, as rumor, myth, and legend have it, the origin of Treebeard came from when Tolkien and Lewis were teaching together at, where were they? Oxford, I think?
Mm-hmm. Either at Cambridge, I can't remember which one.
Well, thank goodness for Google. Let's look it up. Google. Oxford. Haha, yes.
Oxford.
So, as I have been told by legend, Treebeard was inspired by C.S. Lewis.
Really?
Because Tolkien would be able to hear in his hall where he was the professor, he would be able to hear down the hall into the other classroom where Lewis was teaching.
Really?
And Lewis just had this slow, booming way of talking and teaching. And so he wrote Lewis in as Treebeard.
Wow, that's really cool.
I should probably also Google that to confirm it.
Yeah, those scenes with Treebeard always frustrated me so much because they just did things so slowly, and the urgency was there in all the other parts of the book, like the whole Gondor. I think the other guys are in Gondor, and there's lots of battle and things, and then all of a sudden you break and go back to Treebeard and his folks, and everything's so slow. So slow.
Yep, okay, here it is, according to Google. Aha. It is believed that many of Treebeard's mannerisms were based on Tolkien's friend, Lewis, a loud, bombastic man known for his powerful stride and overwhelming presence.
Google said it. Must be right.
Exactly. Thank you, Internet, for the truth of all things. Really? Not really? Maybe. Crazy? I don't know. But no, Tolkien is just rich and full of rabbit trails to follow.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right, anyway. See, this is the fun of this kind of episode, where we get to geek out a little bit on favorite things.
Yep.
When you were a kid, what was, like, the toy you had to have?
I can't really remember having a specific toy, but I loved action figures. I collected action figures, and I loved them. And toy guns. I liked toy guns a lot. And knives, toy guns, action figures.
So, yeah, that was the age of early Nerf.
Mm-hmm.
So, my son's 11th birthday was just a couple days ago. And it amazes me every time I get, like, Nerf. I'm like, wow, if I was a kid and I had this kind of Nerf gun, I would have ruled the neighborhood. Because, I mean,
nice.
This is the Nerf rival, like, pump shotgun thing.
Wow.
And
that's beautiful.
Holy smokes, that thing whips down the hall of the house and impacts the wall, bounces back, and smacks me in the face. I mean, and it still hurts. But I remember, like, I had this, like, Gatling gun with these huge arrows, and you had to pump the thing to get it to go 2 feet. And I was like, yeah! So, yeah, Nerf guns. G.I. Joe, would that have been the action figures you would have gone for?
It was Star Wars stuff, like Star Wars figures
Star Wars.
And X-Men figures. I really, really liked X-Men.
Oh, X-Men.
I didn't even get to watch it that much, but I still loved it. We didn't have cable. We had like 8 channels. So somehow, once in a while, this is before I realized that things came on repeat regularly, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't watch it as much as I wanted to. But every time it was on, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best. And Spider-Man, I really liked Spider-Man. And
Spider-Man was good.
Yep.
Power Rangers.
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. You're not missing much. But my friend and I, we loved Power Rangers, and we'd fight over who got to be the Red Ranger or the Green or White Ranger, depending on which time frame we were in. And I remember the mayhem of trying to get the Megazord for Christmas.
Yes.
And, you know, the fact that my parents it wasn't the first Megazord, it was the second Megazord. But the fact I had a Megazord and I was like, yeah! And then I couldn't figure out how to get the thing to transform.
Interestingly, the only one of my kids that likes Power Rangers is Maggie. And she's obsessed with this one weird rendition of it. It's called Power Rangers Dino Charge. She watches it over. It's like 2 seasons, maybe 1 season, over and over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, that's the only one. no, and there's like 10 to pick from, 10 different weird versions of it. That's the one. She loves that one, which is really interesting.
My kids have watched some of the new ones, and I've watched them with them, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
This is what I was into as a kid? Okay.
Yeah, we didn't know any better. You didn't know any better.
No, we didn't. Meanwhile, our parents are watching us watch this going,
Really?
really? But, yeah, no, that's childhood. I mean, that's that simplistic morality tale.
Yeah, and you
there
don't know
is
it's...
good and there is evil.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, good and evil, and you don't have any idea that it's cheap. It's way cheap. You don't know that the effects are bad. You don't know any of that. It's just, you love it.
But those bad effects, there is a fondness I have for those. I love the old Godzilla movies, because you watch those and you're like, that's just a guy in a rubber suit, but it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, to be that guy in a rubber suit walking through a model version of a city and being like, yeah, boom, boom. Gonna knock this down now,
Yep.
But yeah, no, pop culture's fun. It gives us tales to engage with that are complex morality or simple morality, and I think that's part of the beauty of pop culture. I mean, that's what George Lucas set out to do with Star Wars originally, was to create this complex narrative that weaved morality into it.
I think it gives us a community too. You have something in common.
Oh yeah, it gives engagement points, because it's, we may not agree on politics, we may not agree on religion, we may not agree on, but hey, did you see the last episode of The Mandalorian? Hey, what do you think of the new Jurassic Park movie? Hey, what?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it breaks down a barrier.
Yes,
If I
it
don't
does.
care about anything else, it allows us to have a conversation on something that's meaningful.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah. And that's the fun of it. And that's part of even where we're going to go with the book club that we're going to start. So with the book club, Lindsay, you had a recommendation.
Yes.
Go ahead.
God is Not Great. How Religion Ruins Everything by Christopher Hitchens.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not going with a pop culture book. You're going with something that is
relevant.
Going to be a...
What are you going to recommend?
Well, I'm giving you pushback at the moment, okay? Because that would be like me saying, hey, let's do a book study on, I'm going to pick Acts.
Well, I thought that's what we were doing. I thought you were going to recommend a book from your corner, and I was going to recommend a book from my corner. I didn't know I could pick any book in the world.
Yeah, you can pick any book. Yeah, you can pick any book in the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what...
Well, I thought we were, like, sort of going to tear each other's books apart in a nice way. Or, like... that's kind of what I thought we were do.
We're still gonna do that, because, I mean, I'm not done with it yet. I'm getting there. I've been reading Richard Dawkins' God Delusion. There we go. So, yeah, we're going to still go at each other's books, but...
So what are you going to recommend?
Well, what is a guilty pleasure book for you? That's not high intellectual. Like, what would be a guilty pleasure book?
For fun, like reading before bed stuff, like easy stuff, I like Stephen King. I like Stephen King.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. We never talked about that, did we? Because you made me read a King book.
Yes, I did. That's right.
We could do that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't mind that.
You want to do?
Sure.
Okay, you want to give a recommendation? I'll give my initial reaction.
Yeah. Something kind of shorter, right? Something on the shorter side?
Oh, I thought you were going to give the one you made me read.
What's that? What did I make you read?
The Stand.
I made you... Oh, The Stand is really big. Are we...
I know. You melted my brain. I've never read Stephen King. And you're like, oh, read The Stand in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
see how sane you are at the end.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they've come out with a TV series.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to watch it. So, question. I guess I need to know more. Is this podcast something we're sort of expecting our listeners to sort of participate in? And
absolutely.
Are we supposed to be able to read this book in a month? or 2 months or 3 months. What's our timeline? So because that will affect what book we choose. Because The Stand's like 1,000 pages. That's a lot to. Like I can't really commit to that right now. But
so yeah, absolutely. I expect that whatever we recommend, they can read. And then what we'll do is, depending on how long it takes us to read it, they can come back and listen to it. And
I'm so sorry. This is real life.
No, you're okay. Yeah, and that's part of what we're doing with this podcast. We're just life together. We have different conclusions, but how do you live together? We don't live together. We're like 10 states apart. Jeez.
So books.
But yes, books. They can read. A month or two later, we'll do an episode on it, depending on how long it takes us to read through it.
Okay. Take
our notes, and then have a conversation of, wow, you made me read The Stand, and I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks because,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an intense book.
Yes, it is.
And then I start reading more about...
Randall Flagg?
No, not Randall Flagg. The Multiverse of Stephen King, and I'm just like, brain melting.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah, and it's cool.
I feel like if I keep... Go ahead.
Well, it's cool because he leaves little Easter eggs in his books, and his books refer to each other, and characters refer to each other. Like, what is it? Cujo.
Oh.
Cujo's a good one to read, but what comes before it? I'll try. I think maybe we should read Cujo or Misery or one of those classics. One of the older ones. I like the older ones better.
I did go through, after understanding the connection, I did go through and read the Dark Tower series.
I've never read those.
I also made the mistake of watching the movie, but the Dark Tower series was good as well, because it gives some of that interconnective and Randall Flagg, how he plays into pieces of it, and then how, I can't remember the something King, or I don't remember.
Yeah.
Evil behind Randall, and...
Yeah.
So, okay. What's your fun recommendation?
I think I gotta get back to you, cause I guess I had the wrong impression, but
that's okay.
It's on the tip of my brain.
Here's what you're gonna do then for the next episode we do, which is, I should probably have that schedule in front of me. Oh, schedule. Word is opening.
Okay.
All right. So, you know what the next episode is?
What? The soft debate thing?
Evolution.
Cool.
Evolution and creationism. So at the beginning of that next episode... We'll introduce just which book we're going to do real quick.
Okay.
But the intent of it is to have fun with a cultural element that we can look at and dissect from our differing views, because Stephen King is complex.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to do a King book, if that's what you decide. And he puts elements of religion in there. He puts elements of science in there, and they combine in this. Again, having my primary book with King in The Stand, they combine in this terrifying narrative of psychological horror. Because there was no point where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm terrified because of what the characters are going through. It was just, I'm disturbed because those are possibilities.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And reading it in a pandemic, I mean, that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
So our next episode, you and I are revisiting. Are you ready for it?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't have a second episode slated for after that one.
Which is probably smart.
Yeah, it's just kind of an anticipation that we might be doing a 2-part episode.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, I gotta brush up on some stuff this week.
Yeah. I gotta pick a couple points to bring to the table.
A couple?
A couple points.
Last time you and I had that discussion, it was 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it was messy. It'll be better this time.
But it was still good.
Yeah.
So, and I've found some of the ways that I can express a little bit better other than going, na-na-na-na-na, I have faith.
Yep. Science.
So, yeah. Science. Faith. We'll do better with this one. It'll be fun.
Creation summarized in a sound.
A section of creation, a certain particular camp of creation. Yes. We'll jump into it, though. It'll be good.
Yep.
All right. So next episode, we will open with a book recommendation officially, and it'll be a fun one. The book you did recommend, we will still discuss. And you are, listeners, you are free to read and engage with us as you would like. Feel free to. Mm-hmm. If you know Lindsay or I, text us and harass us with your thoughts. If you don't, we have social media. Mm-hmm. Post there. We have a Twitter and we have a Facebook. So,
yeah.
And it's all under the 42 podcast.
Yeah, come find us. Chat with us.
And hey, if this conversation has been worth it and you are interested in the things to come, please give us a moment, rate us, review us. And if we've earned it and you think it's worth sharing, please share. Because the more ears we have on this, the more engagement we can get from everyone. And hey, the conversations can grow in new ways. So, yeah. As always, Lindsay, it's great listening and talking and engaging. And this really was just a fun one to geek out with some favorites.
Yep, I enjoyed it.
Harry Potter. I don't know why I didn't think and expect that one from you. It makes sense. I mean, how can you not love Harry Potter? All right. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's been good.
We'll see you next week.
All right, see you next week.
Lindsay, we had a good conversation. We went through a couple different geekdoms of each of ours. And you are a Ravenclaw and I'm a Gryffindor. And those two don't often mix until the end, so can we still be friends?
Of course we can.
I still haven't forgiven you for The Stand and being a Patriots fan.
Well, I don't know.
That's all right. Everybody needs a little bit of contention in their relationship, right? Just enough to egg each other on.
Otherwise it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring otherwise.
Yeah, and as of recording this, it's going to be a tense night because our Steelers are going against the Browns again, so haven't forgiven you. You jinxed the team somehow.
Yes.
All right. I'm glad we're still friends, even though we're different houses.
Me too.
And
I'm glad we're in different
Gryffindor
houses.
always gets the house cup, so, there you go. All right. Have a good week, Lindsay.
You too, Rob. Check you later.
Bye.